You're in the room, the kind of room you used to dream about. The air is thick with power, with influence. The people around you, successful, intelligent, powerful, hanging on to your every word. They nod in agreement. They see you as one of them because you are one of them. You command respect. You dominate conversations. You are seen as a genius, effortlessly insightful, endlessly sharp. And the best part? You didn't have to spend decades reading books, earning degrees, or working your way up. You simply understood how the game is played. You mastered the psychology of perception. Now they believe you're 10 times smarter than you actually are, and they'll never know the difference. But here's the thing, most people live their entire lives being overlooked. They may be intelligent, but they are invisible. Their ideas get ignored. Their presence is forgettable, and deep down, they know it. If that sounds familiar, keep watching, because today you'll learn how to change everything. I'm giving you 5 brutal, highly effective strategies to make anyone think you're a genius. We'll start with the basics, the surface level tricks. But if you stay until the end, you'll learn the most powerful psychological weapon that can make you untouchable. Let's begin. Most people destroy their own intelligence by talking too much. They run their mouths, spilling everything they know, trying to prove themselves. That's a weak move. A genius knows when to shut up. Silence makes people uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, they project intelligence onto you. They assume you know something they don't. It forces them to respect you without even realizing why. Where does this work? Everywhere. In business meetings, negotiations, social interactions. You don't fill silence. You make others scramble to fill it. And in doing so, you control the conversation without saying a word. Imagine this. You're in a meeting and someone asks you a difficult question. The average person would panic, rush to respond, and stumble over their words. But you pause. You take a slow breath. You look them in the eye, and then you respond with precision. That pause alone just made you look 10 times more intelligent. Example. Ever noticed how the most powerful people in a room don't talk much? They let others debate, argue, and expose their ignorance, while they sit back watching. Then when they finally speak, everyone listens. Because in a world of noise, silence is power. Here's a dark secret. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know what matters in any given situation. Most people try to sound smart by overloading on information. That's a trap. Instead, ask one profound question that shifts the entire conversation. A well-placed question makes people assume you have a deep understanding. Even if you don't, it also makes them work for your approval. Where does this work? Debates, job interviews, leadership settings. When you ask the right question, people assume you already know the answer, and they rush to explain things to you, giving you power over the discussion. Here's how you use it in everyday life. Suppose you're in a conversation about a topic you know little about. Instead of pretending to be an expert, ask something like, "That's interesting. How does that compare to a related topic?" You're not admitting ignorance. You're directing the discussion, and now they're explaining to you while you appear insightful. Example. Look at powerful CEOs or politicians. They don't waste time proving they're the smartest in the room. They simply ask the right questions, making everyone else scramble to impress them. That's power. Want to seem like a natural-born genius? Stop trying to look smart. Confidence in simplicity is far more powerful than forced complexity. Most people think intelligence is about using big words and complicated explanations. That's wrong. True intelligence is about making complex ideas simple. The moment you can explain something in a way a child can understand, people assume you're a genius. Where does this work? Public speaking, networking, social media. If you can break down complex topics effortlessly, people will automatically respect your intellect. Here's something to try. Next time you explain something, strip away all the jargon. Make it simple. If someone asks you about a complicated topic, don't say, "It's a multifaceted, algorithmic process." Instead say, "It's like a digital map that helps systems make decisions." Watch how people respond differently. Example. The greatest thinkers in history, Einstein, Da Vinci, Elon Musk, were known for simplifying complexity. They understood that the smarter you appear, the less you have to prove. Here's where we get into the real psychological warfare. Most people expose their weaknesses without realizing it. But you turn your weaknesses into strengths by redirecting attention. If there's something you don't know, don't fight it. Instead, redirect the conversation to something you control. Use storytelling, humor, or a sharp insight to shift the focus. Where does this work? High-pressure situations, interviews, debates. The person who controls attention controls perception. Here's a real-world example. You're in a job interview and they ask about a skill you lack. Instead of saying, I don't know much about that, say, that's an interesting area. And what I've noticed is, then shift to a related topic where you do have expertise. Suddenly the conversation moves on and your weakness disappears. Example, ever noticed how skilled politicians dodge tough questions? They don't panic. They simply redirect the conversation to their strengths, and people buy into it every time. This is where the game changes. You want power? Real, raw power over people? Then stop focusing on what they say and start watching what they hide. Every human is running from something, some trauma, some insecurity, some shame. Most people are walking open wounds, covered in designer clothes and fake smiles. And here's the brutal truth. The person who knows your wound controls you. This is why the final trick, the one I saved for last, is so damn powerful. You're not just appearing smart anymore. You're turning their fear into your weapon. In conversation, scan for what makes them uncomfortable. What topic do they brush off quickly? What insult did they nervously laugh off? What name do they avoid mentioning? There's your goldmine. Start framing your language around their weakness. Use soft persuasion to bring it up indirectly. It makes them defensive. It makes them over-explain. And while they're scrambling to protect their identity, you stay calm, composed, controlled. They'll start chasing your validation. They'll want to impress you, and they won't even know why. This isn't theory. Politicians use it. Narcissists thrive on it. You probably already know someone who does this, and you just never saw it before, but now you will. You're not using this to destroy people. You're using it to command the room, control the narrative, and dominate conversations like a ghost in the system. Use it wisely, because once you understand this, you'll start seeing people as chess pieces. Now you know the truth. Intelligence isn't just about what you know. It's about how you're perceived. Use it wisely, because once you master perception, you become untouchable,